Hey, how you guys doing? Okay, let's do this thing. We're gonna go over a Fabi game. I have to make sure my Twitch thing is in line for everybody. Okay, let's do this thing. Okay, Fabi's black and his opponent's white. I did the Tromposky, or I think I wrote down what the line is, and it should, if I'm not mistaken, be the Indian defense. We'll find out. Yep, there we go. Indian defense. But it actually turned into Tromposky. If it was the true Indian defense, it'd be that there. And then here, here. I didn't know it was going to turn into Tromposky. I guess maybe the Indian does somewhat transpose. Then you play there, and then what you do is you castle. He plays here. You play here and here. You can actually attack there if he plays here, and you branch out with an attack. And if he locks down there, then there's some other lines you can go down, but white went into the Tromposky rather than the Indian. Sorry, this was thirsty there for a second. He got a pawn from his opponent. I think yeah, he's up one pawn. Now he's going after the queen. Now he's eyeing another pawn here. And he goes g3. And now he's hitting hard. His next move he wants to play is actually h6, but he really can't play that at this moment. So maybe he's going to have to go maybe something like that. Trade off this knight, then push. You never knew. Now he's going for the undermining of the pawns, and he's just slowly disassembling the opponent. And this is a sweet idea. If he takes here, he queens. So he can't take. He can't play here. He can't bring his rook over, so this is going to end up queening. So potentially, maybe he should have played maybe something like this. He would have taken there. Well, I guess he has so many passers that it's over. Okay, let's start into our puzzles. Like, I was a little bit behind yesterday on time, but not today. So we're gonna do it today. Okay, excuse me. I gotta be right back. You guys analyze this and write in there if you have any ideas, and I'll be right there. got here? Hey guys. Okay. Let's see, what have we got here? Let's see here. I see the ability for a for this here. You see, if we can, if I can remove this knight, I potentially could play here and then attack this rook. So if I potentially play bishop, hey, if I potentially play bishop takes knight on f3, then pawn takes, bishop takes pawn, excuse me, if the queen moves, one second, I gotta just 1 second. Excuse me, allergies. Where I am, everything's blooming, so it's like, I'm sorry about that. I know that must be really loud in your thing. 1 second. Yeah, that's not fun. So I'm trying to figure out. There's also this line: rook takes pawn, king takes. Then we actually have bishop takes pawn here. So rook takes g2, bishop takes e5, which then eyes that, because this rook's over it. This rook right here is over here at this moment. Oh, perfect. I could do that. Okay, so this is us. This is him. This is us here, because the bishop pins the knight to the king. And then what would happen is the queen would have to like move, and then we can actually take. Okay. So you have okay, common theme. All right, we'll take a look. Let's see here. That's what I'm kind of trying to see if it's here. He goes here. We go here, and then he has to move his queen, and we'll say somewhere like there, and then we can snap this this rook off the board right there, and rook takes. And I don't know if we actually win anything in that scenario, but it'd be a cool combo. So nevertheless, it'd be a cool combo. Well, okay. Oh, you did the king. You did the Indian game. Nice. That's pretty popular. We were kind of trying to do one, but for some reason the Indian game transposed in the Tromposky attack, and so we might look at that. Maybe the Tromposky attack. And see some ideas behind that for white. It's kind of like a London system. Instead of the bishop being here, the bishop's actually, instead of the bishop being here, the bishop's here, yeah. I played d5 to clamp on, oh, to clamp on c4, okay. Right here, yeah. Even though it closed the bishop. Well, you gotta do sometimes what you gotta do. You can always play a6 if you ever had to. That's the advanced fianchetto. Knight bd7. Okay. Okay, so he's gonna take scope on that pawn there. e6. Okay. Kind of have a somewhat of a French setup. Somewhat. Yeah, that was actually a really good move. He castled, and this pawn now is kind of pinned to the rook. So the rook's going to either have to go to rook d1 and then be able to potentially at the right moment play e4. Yeah. So bishop e7. Not bad, not bad. Let's see here. I was hoping somehow to take advantage of this, but we can't yet. We need two pieces to eye this bishop. We could go there and there, knight bd7 and here, and then take scope on that pawn. Later on, you could take scope on this. Yeah, c5 is a bone cruncher if you're after you castle. And then he's probably going. Oh, he pushes a5. Okay. Yeah, that does prevent a little bit of the sitch. Not much though. You still could play c5. Because if he takes here, you take back, and your rook protects the bishop. So this move, in my opinion, really was dubious. I think he should have played that. I think he should have played b6, in my opinion, because that would have clamped down on your idea of c5. This move only allow you to do that. So the opponent didn't understand what your idea was, or if he did, he kind of got a little too overzealous, as they say, too much energy at one time. That's not what you want to play. You want to play that. You want to play this here. But he played that, so that wasn't the best move. Now you're coming to crushing in. He should have prevented that. That should have been what he prevented, and he didn't do that though. Yeah, you still can even after this. You still, well, actually you'd have to retreat back first. Let me see what would be a good move for him. Well, potentially he could actually start. He could come crushing through with a5, and then you have there. Or you can he could develop his knight like that, and it's debatable. You have an isolated pawn. He has a intact pawn structure, so he's probably slightly better than you, slightly though, because he could play after he gets his bishop outside, bishop to bishop f4, e3. And then he can go knight e2, or maybe even bishop there might be better. Something similar to that, but he didn't do that. So he you were that was a blessing on your part that didn't happen. Because that would, you could have still played c5, but it would have been a really pain in the drain. You would have lost this pin here, and this pin is like devastating. Yeah, I don't. I think it would probably at the very end equalize. You'd probably have an equal position at that point, so you'd still be fine. But he'd probably have like a .2 advantage, not much of an advantage. The only difference between b5 is you would have an isolated pawn, and that would be a weakness that he would try to hone his pieces on. Or as Yazzer says, put his eye on. Oh wow, he gave up a pawn. Snap. Oh wowzers, that's not very wise. Potentially this should have actually, he should have played here. That's actually a better move first. And then, because if bishop there, well, I guess you're still in a sitch, aren't you? Huh. Well, maybe, I think well, no, that's bad too. Yeah, well, I was just trying to find a way for him. Yeah, that's just like... Yeah, e5 is, and it's, yeah, you want a pawn. This is their little trick that they play from here to here. They try to drag your queen out, and then they start attacking it, like with a bishop and stuff. So you have to be really careful. But you can actually take the pawn here and be okay. Yeah, he blundered 3 pawns there. Now he's got 2 isolated pawns, and if played properly, which I know you did, he should fall to basically a devastating attack. Let's see here. Yeah. Like back here. Yeah, this is what he should have done there. Well, then you could have taken here, taken there, potentially played bishop here. After pawn takes, bishop takes, takes. I think you're still up. You'd still be up a pawn in that scenario. So you're up a pawn anyways. I think he loses a pawn anyways, because you're able to take at that point. And if he takes here, you just take there. I guess you're right. You don't lose a pawn. He doesn't lose a pawn. I guess I took incorrectly. Yeah, you're right. He doesn't lose a pawn. That was right. Oh no, he does. Yeah, he does lose a pawn. My bad. There we go. That's how he. I knew there was a way he lost a pawn. That if he takes here, you just retreat back. And hey, wow, it looks very similar to the structure you have recently, doesn't it? Right away. It's like really odd. But it's, instead of isolated pawns, it would be these ideas, yeah. Queen b5. Man, that would be nice if that bishop wasn't there. You can play queen takes, rook, queen takes, bishop takes, and that'd be fun. But this bishop stops our little fun attack there. Yeah, I guess you gotta do that. Let me see. Yeah, I think you do have to reroute your queen now that I think about it. Yeah, because you don't want a rook coming over and causing some hectic down that line. Yeah, nice. That's actually a really good move that you played, rook ab8. That follows principles. And then probably next you'd want to double up and take advantage of the second rank and become Pac-Man, as I call it. They call it a pig, but I like calling it Pac-Man because he goes much, those little dots, and the little dots are pawns. Uh-oh. Yikes, my bad. That was a blunder. Missed that. Drat. It would have been there. I'll recover. It would have been a good move if it didn't have this bishop. So You're still up 2 pawns though, so it's equal material. You have a better pawn structure. You still have the ability to win, so it's not over. There's so it's yeah, okay, take there, put there. That pins that pawn. Then next you can actually play knight e4 or knight g4 to take scope on that pawn. Can't believe he intentionally weakened himself. See, now do you see the power of playing here? Then when he plays here, you can actually drop that on him. Boom, baby. You gotta love that. Oh, you played that to stop that. I guess you're right, because you could just jam a knight in there too, and that'd be a pain. Yeah, I guess that is, now that we think about it, that is probably the best. Yeah, but I'm surprised he played that. That's like kamikaze, man. You don't want to do that. He's so solid and he's up material. He should try to start trading off. Get down to lesser pieces, not throw himself into a problem. Yeah, that just allowed that to start now, and when that takes, now you can even get your queen involved, and then he'll have tons of pain. So his idea was to, oh wow, I guess I see what his idea is. He played h5, h6. That's kind of crazy though, to fracture. I guess he could play that there if need be. Well, nope, my bad. That actually loses a pawn, so let's get rid of that. I'm trying to think how you can protect this pawn. You'd have to play either bishop or queen. I don't know if I would have pushed. I think that's too hasty for a white. I don't know. I don't think he really has much, but you actually have more attacking potential. Well, yeah, I see what you're saying. Now there's some. Now potentially you have that with that, so it's pretty crazy what he's doing there. I think you could actually take, if I'm not mistaken. I think you actually could have won this pawn without any problem. Yeah, you could have won that pawn. And then now you have a scope here, here, right there. So I believe, let's see what the engine says. I think you could win that pawn. I'm not sure. Let's see. I think you can, if I'm not. Oh, you can't. Well, let's see what happens if you don't win the pawn. Sorry about that, guys. Just need a little water. I think it's the same. I think he can play something like that. I think Bobby would try to win as many pawns as he could to so would Yasser, to kind of make up for it. And then what you do is just puts the pressure on the opponent. That's also under fire, so interesting for sure. Oops, I gotta turn off the engine because it doesn't. We don't want to do the engine. We want to think for ourselves. Did you think about playing potentially bishop? Oh wait, so you can't do that. Snap. Yeah, because he'd trade off. That wouldn't be nice. That'd be bad, because if he played here, he could actually take, and you can't take back because of that. So that's not fun. So we don't want to do that. We'll get rid of that line. Let me see here. Huh. I kind of see what your idea. You want to reroute in there and then drop in that. That potentially would work. I think that's a really good move. This actually, I know I kind of made a little error with that, but this actually is a good move because that locks down that pawn. Because he has no dark square bishop, so what you have to do is play on your advantage, which is you have a dark square bishop. So you have to play on the dark squares. Ooh, you play there. I would have played here. Well, I guess you really can't. Well, yeah, you really can't. Drat. I wanted to play there, but he has that. That's not fun. Not fun. Not fun. Snikies. Well, maybe I could play. Maybe I can actually play queen here first, and then if he well he wouldn't. Well, if he plays there, then I takes queen there. No, I don't get anything after that. So that's not. I was just taking a look to see. Okay. That's crazy. Why he should have? He should. Well, I guess he doesn't have any opportunity, does he? That was actually a horrible move on his part. He should have played either like a rook move or something like that. That was a bad move when he moved his knight. He lost his queen. Yeah, you're just gonna tear him up now. See how patient, like Annie Wang, was patient with her opponents, and she was able to take advantage of their weaknesses. I think I might have played actually here. I think I would have played there. And then if he takes here, I take. And then you have this passed pawn that's unstoppable. You have to look for forks and be okay to give up material. Don't fear giving up material, because think about this. You're so far ahead in material that you can even give up a pawn. Your queen would stop this pawn. And you have enough at that point, so yeah, that's actually crushing. This is because your queen guards these 2 points here, and there's no way he really can get there because your knight guards that. So this baby's going right up the board, and you can just push, and at this point there's no way to stop the queening of the pawn. You still have this. Even if he tries to play something like that, you still could take here, and if rook takes, you could actually play queen takes, and look how many pieces you're up. Even if you exchanged your queen, you're still that much material up. So just remember, even if you have to exchange your queen after when you're up so much material for 2 pieces, you're you're 2 extra pieces ahead of him. So you could most definitely, and you also have the potential, like, to guard there, and it guards there, guards there. The knight's guarded, and later on you can infiltrate, and that's pinned. So maybe first and foremost you want to snap that off. That's probably what I do then. Then you'd have to come here, and then you play there. And now his position is wrecked. Yeah. Yeah, don't. Yeah, can I tell you? I know how it feels to get in a squeeze like that. So you know what? Don't worry about it. You know what? That's the whole thing. Is it's how you handle the pinch, as they call it. Let's see here. Yeah, potentially. Let's see if we played there. What could he play here? I think that delivers mate, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think there's any way to... yeah, I don't think there's any way... Well, he could play here. Well, maybe potentially best would actually be a check, maybe. Because if he goes on to one of these squares here... I don't know, that is interesting. Yeah. Nice. This bishop actually does a really good job. It's your saving grace bishop right there. I think he should have, in my opinion, played that, but... because that gives him at least some chance of survival. Trying to see it. Well, oh, he's got mate there. Snap. So he's kind of in a pickle. So did you kind of think about just moving your king? Did you consider moving the king? Because I think if you would have moved the king, I don't think there's any way he can survive in this example. I think in this sitch, I think moving the king wins, because I don't know if there's any way that he can stop. Is there any way he could stop me? I don't think so. Oh, okay. Surprisingly, this is equal. Yeah, the hardest part in chess is actually seeing these. They're called the quiet moves, and the quiet moves. That's what grandmasters. That's why they're grandmasters, and they mastered the silent move. They call it the in Lord of the Rings. They called it this. Gandalf called it the silence before the storm, and that's what they mastered, because you're threatening mate. You're one move away from mate, and he's going to have to throw everything he can at this. He has to throw here. You check there. He comes here, and now you're getting ready, and if he takes here, check, and then you win a bishop. I know it's crazy, but it's just like it's hard to see those moves because we have an instinct as a player to take. So it's, you know what, you did a good job. You know, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad at all because this was a great job. Let's see. Are you white in this? Let's see. Are you white in this scenario? Oh, yeah. Okay. It takes. Okay. Yeah, surprisingly, I didn't know the history. The Caro-Kann is actually developed by two people, Kara, and then there was a gentleman named Khan. They worked on it and they made the Caro-Kann opening. So I didn't know that. I did some research on it. And I thought, what? Why did they call it Caro-Kann? And so it's actually two people's names. Okay. Just a little history, background on the Caro-Kann. Okay, so you're doing more of a, as Yasser would say, somewhat of a fortress position. It's not a King's Indian, but it's similar. Yeah, I learned that actually from, I think it was Susan Pogar. I have one of her when I was starting out. I have when she's teaching with her teacher. I forgot his name, but she had a teacher, and they talked about the French defense, certain openings, position, what to do in the end game, and she kind of talked about that. So I had no idea until that there was actually two players, I mean two people actually designed it. So just it's it's always fun to know the history behind openings. Like the London system was actually, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that there was actually a game between the French, the country France, and then the country England, and they, I think England won with a certain opening, and so they named it the London system. I think it was Yazzer and Jennifer and Maurice talked about that when the London system got popular. Somebody called in one time and asked, why is it named the London system? And so they told the history behind that, and I was like, that's cool. Let's see here. Okay, so they're there. Oh, nice. So he, that was a really odd move. He should have been patient. Well, I guess he is getting kind of crunched. So, but that's a little too. Hmm. Combos, you always have to judge which combo's best. Is that, or is that? That's what you have to always say. Is this exchange? Is that exchange and that exchange better? Is this exchange and the knight moves with a potential discovery better? Which I think your move is actually best, because that sets up for a discovery on this. I think you could actually at this point push the pawn, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that doesn't work. I thought that would work. Doesn't work. That does not work for sure. Maybe, let's see if we played queen here. That looks interesting. Let's see if that move is right. I believe I was checking to see if that's right. I think that is right. Oh, so they want you to take. What happens if we play here though? Oh, the queen can come over with, okay. Okay, that's not fun. Alright, I gotcha. I feel what the computer's thinking now. Okay. He should play here at this point. That's actually a crushing move, because that threatens mate, and I think you would at this point have to play there. And then you could actually take with the knight, I mean the pawn. Oh, that would work too. Yeah, that's why that doesn't work. Hey, that's why we try things out. It's like, whoa. Let's see here. Yeah, you're trying. That is not a bad idea. To try to go in there. I think it takes. What would happen after it takes? Let's see. I just want to make sure I'm doing this right. Because yeah, it's got to take there. And then, okay, then you can actually play here. And if knight takes, rook smashes through. And then if pawn takes, queen mate 2. Wow. The computer's brutal. Brutal. Ouch. That's just too much pain for me. Huh, maybe I'm missing something here. Trying to see if I can find mate here. If there's any way of finding mate. Something similar to that. It's kind of, yeah, if you have like a long time, that'd be a perfect thing to do. Uh-oh. Yeah, this is a problem. That's okay. Let's see here. If we, let's see. How could we do this? How could we do this? Let me see. Trying to see if we can't counterattack with here, but I don't know. I don't know if we counter on that. Oh, mate too. I missed that. Oops. Right there. So we were right with taking with the queen then. Yeah. Yeah, you were so close that it was one move away. The hardest thing that you know what, it's when you get in that mindset of takedown. One time I faced somebody and I had a choice between the same idea over the board. Which piece do I want to take with? And I had to step back, for about like 5 or 6 minutes. I calculated, and it was actually the best move was the queen. It made it in like 4 moves, but you had to have seen, the whole line. If I would have taken it with the rook, I don't know if it would have panned out because I checked it and it didn't work out when I brought the game home to look at over the board. Yeah, don't worry. You know what? That's the coolest thing about studies. I think it was. I think it's Andrew Martin that said when you get into an end game, you need to have at least. Let's say it takes 40 moves to get to. You get 30 minutes, and you're on move 30. You want to have at least a minute per move that you can have. So you would want to have like 10 minutes in the end game so that you can think. Yeah. That's what I listened to. That he had the he has a series called the Foxy Foxy Opening. He has that one. It's really interesting. Some of them. He also has one on how to study properly. Eventually, what happens is when you become a better player, he says the beginners start out with, which is when you start following, getting used to chess, you start doing more games rather than study. It's 90% games, and then he says when you go for the next level, which is the next on the stairs, the next step, you have to change the 90 play to 90 study. And so you just have to remember that. That's the hardest thing to do. Is like I want to play, over the board, not over the board, but online. But I have to remember that if you don't study, you're not gonna. You're only gonna get to a certain plateau. He says like 1600, maybe up to 1800, and you will stop there. So okay, that's white. Gotcha. Well, this is a the Zergtort opening. Huh. Well, it's kind of interesting. Black doesn't want to do too much either. He wants to play a knight here and then there, e4, d5, d4, knight d4. So c3, knight takes. I guess since you are going to a close, let's see which one would be best. That's what I was thinking something like this. I actually wanted to play that because you get the two bishops. He gets the two bishops, and he'll eventually be able to break the center open with after you take here. A potential idea like that. Yeah. Well, he made an error and allowed you to keep the two bishops, which was a blessing. That's one thing I have to get down Jeremy Silman's reassess your chess and the imbalance. Is it at a certain point? Is it worth giving up a knight for a bishop? You have to think about that. And when you start getting the understanding of that, you're able to go to the next, as I say, next stairs. D takes e4. Knight takes e4. Okay, so you guys are equal material at this moment. He does have a pretty not good. If you can get rid of this bishop, he has holes, dark squared holes all over the place. He does have a really nice light squared bishop though, so maybe. Rook e1 is interesting. Yeah, that does take scope on the king, so you could potentially play knight and then pry the king open. Well, yeah, he's like, he doesn't really know what to do. It seems like to me, if I was to find out a problem for black, is he doesn't know which side to play on. He's like, do I play on the queen side? Do I play on the king side? And it's like, which side? And then he weakens all of his sides, and it's like, really? Too late. You should have traded when you were back here. You were too late. Sorry, where's the knight? The knight was like somewhere up here. You had an opportunity for this knight to trade off this bishop. You did. You didn't play wisely, black. You should have. How far back here? You had an opportunity right here to do this, and then he wouldn't have had that problem. But it's too late now. I can't believe he tried to do that. That makes the knight look very silly. So yeah. Well, you have a castle. Oh, ouch. Nothing's more painful than a fork like that. Potentially you can play knight g5. Oh, you did play knight g5. Nice. And if he takes here, then I think you can come crushing in, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think this is actually winning at this point. I think you're winning. I think he'd actually have to bring his knight back. Maybe. I don't know. Oh, true. Now that I think about it, yeah. See, I even need to work on the takes because now you're forking these two pieces. So if you move the queen, you win the bishop. So there we go. Or potentially that might be better. It all depends. You'd have to come up here. So you have a lot of discoveries with that. Let's say e4 there. Okay, there. Crunch. 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 I was just trying to see if there's any way you can win this knight. Nice. And he must have resigned here because he's only got one move. There we go. Yeah, these were really good games. Good play, man. That was great. I have to always think about when I have the option of taking with or moving a piece, which one do I do? And what I do is at this point, you have time, so you gotta just kind of take a minute or two if you have if you have a longer duration on time, and just calculate which is best. Yeah. Yeah, this actually delivers mate because you have that. You have that. If he plays here, you have there, and that wins. Yeah, I don't think there's really any way. Let me see if he plays there. That's check. He can only intercept with his bishop, and then you get mate. And if he checks here, if he goes over here, Yeah, mate there. So yeah, there's so many mates. Yeah, you had this player so much. There's nothing that the player could actually do here. Yeah. And that actually wins on this spot, like what you were saying, h6. Yeah, there's no way to stop the mate there. Yeah, it's all over. Wow, that was fun. That was a really good game. So let's see. Do you have any questions that maybe we can any points in the games, any of these three games that you had a question on? And we can go back and take a look to see if you were wondering anything. We'll work through it. So let's see. We'll work on some puzzles. Okay. Yeah, I'm still. You know what? I'm still improving too. So, like, I even missed the bishop. I mean the rook move. So, I'm still in improvement mode too. But as long as we use the gift the Lord's given us, that's the best thing, which is our mind. So here we go. Yeah, this one really reminds me of that your game when you took with the knight and you had like a pin here. Like if we took with the rook and the king took, we'd have a like let me see. Okay, if we oops, no, I don't want to do that. Thank you. If we played here, there we go. He took here, and then we took here. He'd have to move his queen somewhere. And then potentially we can take the rook, but I don't think that's good, or I don't think that's well. Maybe we could win a the bishop. Maybe I'm missing something. No, hold on. Let's see. No, we'd lose a. Oh, that's not a good move. We probably want to take first. No, if we did that, he'll take our rook. Ouch. That's not fun. So maybe we are forced to actually do that if I'm not mistaken, or let me see. Well, oh, true. Yeah, nice job, economy. Nice job, guys. And if he takes here, we just take with our bishop, and then we have a discovery idea that we're on the queen and we're going to win a rook. Or something like that. So here, there. I think economy has it with bishop takes f3. I think it's bishop takes f3 because I that threatens a It's not really a windmill, but you could potentially take with the rook and win like a piece in a pawn and be up so much, and then you also have that threat. So this also threatens with the queen too. So I think it's this. What do you guys think? Because I looked at it. I think you're right, economy. I believe you're right. I mean. Huh. Interesting. But I think if we take here, and then he takes our rook, I think we can actually take the bishop with check. See, if we take here, he takes here, we take the bishop with check, and when the king moves, then we rip off the rook. I just noticed that we have a check here. So here, yeah, here, if he takes there, then we take the bishop with check. We're up a piece. The queen intercepts. We trade queens. King takes, and then the bishop takes, and we'd be up a whole bishop and a rook. But I truly believe, I do believe that that has a lot of teeth to it. But economy has this idea. Here, here, there, and then we have a actually, wait a second. Economy, we can actually take with our after we take and the rooks are lined up, we can take here. Yeah, I think, yeah. Yeah, because I'll show you the idea. What I was talking about is if we take here, he plays here, we play here, he plays there, we play here, he plays here, we take there. That was what I saw. And then this rook also falls at the same time, so we win the whole entire house. Everything collapses at that point. That was a fun one. Good job, guys. We're doing good on this. Good job. Yes. Let's see here. What are we oh, he's going to try to win a piece here. You have to. This is vulnerable, so. Huh. That is an interesting idea. Nice. This move does free up this bishop to move. Yeah, because this bishop, when the queen was over here, guys, this bishop had a job of covering the rook, protecting it. But now that the queen moved, the bishop's able to... I like that idea. I think, yeah. I believe that does win, if I'm not mistaken. I think you win a piece. Let's see. Well, maybe. Let me see if he plays... No, he can't play there. Because this pawn stops the knight from doing that. If the queen comes back to guard, well, let's say that the rook slides over. Well, at that point, you could play rook takes knight, rook takes, and then bishop takes, and you'd be up a whole minor piece at that point. Yeah, I believe you're correct, Fox, on that. H4 is correct. I don't see really any. And even if even if the queen tries to like attack our rook, we can just play rook takes knight at that point, and we still have a threat on here with our bishop, so we're totally winning. Yeah, I believe that is right. And even if he plays bishop takes here, we can actually take. So anything he moves is a mistake. I believe you're right on that because yeah. I think after we take, even if he plays here, you can play your queen to f1 and that guards everything. Snakies. Okay, now we have to consider I think we may have to take it makes it so that we're an exchange up at that point. So if we take here, queen check there, if he comes here, we actually just play our queen again to f1, and there's no problems anymore. I think we can take. I think we can actually take and still hold. I don't really see how we can't. I think we can. F1. I guess that could be a move. Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah. King G1 is the only, or really only move that, otherwise if we go here, like what we talked about, that's a fork. So if we go here, we can't. If we go here, I guess we could go there, but then he would take there. So that's the, King G1 is the only move that actually holds everything. Wow. That is interesting. He got our rook. That is not fun. Let's see. What do we want to do here? Oh man, this is a interesting match for sure. There's only one spot that actually saves the bishop. It's bishop g5. If we are to save our bishop, it's bishop g5. That's the only thing. Yeah, I think that's it. Boom. Yeah, that was an interesting one for sure. For sure. One sec, I'll be right back. I'll leave this with you guys. Just one sec. Oh, king f2? Gotcha. Hold on. Excuse me. Well, I will look at that. Let me see. Okay. Oh, king f1. Okay. Oh, sorry. It's yeah. I think it's like a pawn better for black. Okay. Yeah. Exactly. That's why we played g5. You're right. 100% on that one. Okay. Well, we'll take a look at. Okay. G takes f6. G takes f6. Knight takes b5. Oops, wait a second. Let me, we'll do the different colors. Takes b5. Bishop takes b5. Queen takes b5. A takes b5. Rook takes a. Queen d1. Oops. Rook takes d1 check, and then king takes back. And then what would happen at this point is probably rook would take pawn. So I think we're equal material at that point. So It's kind of like we're forced though. If we don't, we fall into like the line that Fox talked about, and it's actually I believe it's an equal line after that. We don't really have anything better. We'll do it with our things first, and then we'll do it with his. I just think it's too easy that they're why is he giving us, think about this guys, why is he giving us a knight? I mean, why is he giving us a bishop? Why is he just playing there? He's not just giving it. I think that is in the idea. I do believe that is the best. That kind of looks like the best. Because then if here, 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 there, and then we are up in exchange. Knight takes D. But think about this: if we take here, and he takes here, and we take there, and then and he plays there. We play here, he plays there, and then we play here. So let's see, he's lost that. We've lost. He's okay. And he's gotten that. Okay, I'm sorry, we lost this. I think we're up material. Because we have this left for us. These are all the pieces that are left right here. So we have we have two bishops. And yeah, we're up material. We're up material here. And then now we just take here, boom. Because the idea, you're 100% right on this idea, guys. And then if we take here, he plays here, we move there, he takes, we take, and we're just up material. We're up a whole rook at that point. Yeah, just up a whole rook. And we also have pass pawn to boot, as they call it. Okay. You wanna, can we check the last, okay. Let's turn it on. Turn on the engine. And away we go. Oh, and let's go over that one line. Yeah, you're it's an interesting line, but I'm not sure if hold on. It's still beneficial for black by 3. I wanted to check though out this line here. What happens if we take? We take here. This is, you can see the power of the knight now. In a closed position like this, look at the power of the knight. It's like just jumping all over the place. So that was cool. All right, onward and upward. Yes. Excuse me, that was my stomach. Let me see here. Wow, this is scary to be put in like this. I don't want to be put in a position like this, especially when you have that there. Huh. Rook G2. Rotates G2. Rotates G2. Let's say, hold on. Let me we'll do our line. Ah, drat. Come on. Yeah, oops, sorry, I gotta do this here. His bishop has all this covered. So we can't jump a knight in here or here. So actually what we want is to jump in here, but we can't do that because of the bishop controlling that. Well, I guess well, there's a reason, guys. There has to be a reason that we're down material. And it's actually E2. It's E2 right here. So, so if we put a knight here, he takes there, we take here, he takes there, we take here, and we win. Otherwise, D2. But we'd be up. See, we'd be up material if we go knight D2 check. Bishop takes D2. Pawn takes D2. If rook moves, rook takes, rook takes, rook takes, queen takes, and then we play queen check and we win. Yeah, it is knight takes. See, if we do this, if we play here first, the bishop takes, we take, if the rook moves, we take here, the rook takes, we take, queen takes, and then our queen comes down here and checks. And then the queen takes, and then this pawn would take there. Oh, king D2? See, I think this move, we have that. I think the weakness to that move is it applies for us to actually do something here, which forces his hand. So I'm trying to see. Let's see, knight E2, bishop takes E2, F takes E2. If rook takes G6, E takes rook check, king takes D1, and then you can actually play at this point. Queen takes check at that point. I mean, queen takes G6. And then we can be threatening check. He takes, our rook takes, and then we're down to these pieces. That's what would be left. Everything else would be traded off. So what do you guys think on that? I mean, it's kind of really the and if he moves his king up, we just snap off a rook. So what I'm thinking is going to happen is bishop takes, pawn takes, queen takes, rook takes, and we win a rook. But I'm not sure. What do you guys think? I really have, we've calculated it all out. I think it's knight d2 check. Yeah. But there's this line like what we talked about here. We'll go over Fox's line. Rook takes, oops, and then we take here, queen, king takes. Ooh, so we check with the queen. And then if the queen comes over, we, oh, you can actually take. Let's see. Probably at this point, you probably want to check at this point. Then if queen comes there, then, oh, let's see what happens if we take, king takes, rook takes, pawn push, and then we can actually, we're winning here. He's, wow, he's winning, my bad. Wow. So you have to keep the queens on the board. You have to, with all your might, keep the queens on the board, though. So it's imperative you do, because it's the only piece that can stop the pawn. Now I kind of see not to trade if not necessarily. We'll see how long this one takes. This puzzle takes. Because if it doesn't take very long, then we can, I could do another one. Okay. This one's only been seen 460 times. It must be a new one. See what their rating is. Oh, so his rating's not as high as it used to be. Neither is this player, so this must have been when they were at their top of their game. Wow, this player is coming crashing in. You gotta love it. That's for sure. It's chess player learns how to, as they say, manipulate the tension to your benefit. So We'll get an understanding on how it all works. Slowly but steadily we will. Let's see what that left behind that takes. If that takes there, the king takes, bishop takes check. Comes back here. Ouch, we have a discovery. That's not, he has a discovery at that point. That is not fun. No, no, no. We don't want that. No. Queen c7. Let's see if we take here, he takes there, takes, bishop check, mate. That's mate at that point. No, it's not mate. We come back here. That's puzzling. There we go. May have something to do with that though. And then it has potentially something to do maybe there. Has to be something that we're missing here. Maybe we play knight here, bishop takes, and rook takes. Kind of liking knight takes bishop, because then if he takes here, we could take there. If he tries checking, we can actually then come up and take the pawn. That if he brings a rook over, we can come down here, and if he tries checking, we just come up and we can walk our way. Yeah, I think we can actually win the bishop. Boy, I'm trying to see. I believe we are fine. Because this bishop holds, this queen and bishop hold this pawn from the rook, and these two pieces hold this pawn here. So I'm trying to see, do we does he have anything? True. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. Oh boy. Do we take with the pawn, or do we take with the king? I mean, not pawn. Take with the knight, or do we take with the king? I'm thinking pawn because we're trying to take a pawn. That's funny. Yeah, and if knight or king. I'm thinking I like knight because we could actually reroute our knight to attack the queen. Because this allows too much counterplay. So if knight takes, let's see, if knight takes that, I'll just say knight takes g7. Knight takes g7. Pawn takes h6. Then we play knight f5. And then the bishop would go there. So, that's interesting. Okay, if king takes g7, bishop h6 check. Bishop takes bishop h6 check. King would probably have to go back at that point. Well, if we take here, he's probably going to take there anyways. And then we can go back. Actually, if he goes bishop to g5, we can actually play rook d4 at that point and trade off. Yeah. And if he plays bishop take, he can't play bishop take, so he'll have to move his queen. I see what you're saying. This does take that sitch. Also, it allows something like that to happen as well. Because that covers that, that covers that, that covers that, that covers. So he's gonna have to retreat back. Then we have bishop. Rook d4. That's pretty interesting for sure. I think he's going to take at this point. What'll happen is, okay, if we plays, if here, 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 there, there, then you have rook takes check. And then the queen, oh nice, this actually blocks blocks that. Because our knight's here. Oh, interesting. I kind of like the idea too. Oh. Let's see. Let's go over and see why this doesn't work. Huh. That's okay. Hey, you know what? We'll pick up here tomorrow. Hey, we're fine. We're good. Not a problem. We're good. We'll pick up here tomorrow, though. Do you have any? You were right. I didn't think that he was gonna. I did not think that he was gonna play that. That's like crazy. But it does work. So, yep, that does work for sure. That does work. Queen takes here. And then we push. Okay, we attack the queen. Let me see. Does it want? What does it want? Here or there? Make up your mind. Or, let's say here. Okay, will do. Oops, right there. There's no way to stop, mate. Snap. This knight blocks our king having a flight square. One second. Excuse me. So, do you guys have any more questions on this puzzle? After this? Do you have any more ideas? He retreats the king back. And it's actually even worse for him in that scenario. Wow. That's pretty interesting that it's worse for him. Our opponent, I mean. Excuse me. Because he plays here and then we actually can pick up the pawn eventually. We can actually come back if need be. He's got just too much counterplay if we take the pawn. We actually hide behind it. Surprisingly, this is our guardian right here. This is our friend. Thank you, White. Thank you for protecting us from your own. We thank you. You know what? The king's going, thank you. And the other pieces are going, whew, Boy, that was a close one. Okay. So what do you guys, are you guys good with everything? Do you have any more ideas after that? Any more ideas? You have to sometimes ad lib it. You know what I mean? Share the love, right? So is everybody all good? Do you have any more moves, Fox, that you want to go over? What's the move you want to go over? Oh, you guys are all good? Okay. Is that that you're good? Okay. Well, thank you guys. This is good. We're doing better. We're in the 1400. 2400, and we're going up. So we just got to keep going up. So, you know what? We made it all the way to the king move. So we're work in progress. So remember, we're learning from it. That's the whole thing, and it's not a critical point. It's not over the board where it's worth rating points. So it's better to learn now than to learn later with a harder cost. And remember, there's always a plan to position. Just got to find it. Keep moving forward, like Victor Robinson says. Just keep moving forward. Don't only look back to learn. And there's like Hannibal Smith, always plan the position. I think I already said that, but it's important. I wanted to repeat it twice. And when we get to find it, we get to say this: I love it when a plan comes together. Well, guys, as Wesley So says, serve the Lord Jesus. And as I say, God bless. And I'll see you guys next time on Chess Cruncher TV. Have a blessed morning, afternoon, and evening. And I will be back on tomorrow, Lord willing. And have a blessed. Keep studying, guys.